Right, Talofa Lava again, bikers. Just another quick tech tip, having just rebuilt my 2016 RMZ 250 and making a numpty error. I had the problem of spending a couple of days on and off rebuilding the thing very carefully. First time I'd rebuild a 4-stroke, so I was a bit nervous, went very carefully. Cold in the garage when I got to the end, and I had all what I thought was difficult stuff done. I was sort of putting it together pretty quickly. Got it all back together, bit nervous about would it run, fired up, no problem at all, but then after about 5 seconds dies. Bugger. So fired up again, give it a bit of throttle, about 5 seconds dies. Do it several times, bugger. It was pretty clear that it was some sort of an electronic issue, most likely, but I thought something was disconnected somewhere, there's something in there that had become dislodged or hadn't put a connector back where it should be, or there was some form of sensor problem. Anyway, it was the end of a long day, so I went inside, did some Googling, and actually found quite a helpful forum, and the guys in that forum said, you may well have put your tip over sensor back on upside down. Now, my first reaction was, do I have a tip over sensor? I didn't know that. Looked up the definitions in the bike, and sure enough, it's got what Suzuki calls a TO sensor, which indeed was a tip over sensor. And it turns out that on this bike, it's a little black box that I never knew in the last 8 years that I've had this bike what it was, but it sits just above in front of the cylinder and inside the workings there, sort of in there, just on a little metal sprig, and it's got a rubber mounting on it. You just plug it on there. Whenever you take the top off to do check your valves and do your shims if you need to, you have to move it out of the way just to make space. So I've done that a couple of times, never knew what it was. So it turns out, putting the bike back together in the cold, being a bit tired, I put it on rather than underneath where it's supposed to be, but upside down and on top. And so then when you start the bike up, the bike thinks, I'm upside down. Lets it run for a few seconds, I guess, to give you time to pick it up, and then it cuts the fuel to the EFI and the bike cuts out. So short and long of it was, I read that and I thought, that'll be exactly what it is. Seat and tank off again, turn the little box over to the way it should have been if I wasn't a numpty, and put it on upside down, and good as gold, problem solved. So I learned a number of things out of that. One is the bike has a tip over sensor, and if you put it on upside down, it stops the bike. The second thing was that it works, which is good. So so that was news. And the third thing is, if you're cold and tired at the end of a long day, and a cold day in the winter, and you're a numpty and you don't think about which side it was on, and there's enough space in your bike to put it on upside down, you can put it on upside down, and then when you start your bike after you rebuild, it will run fine for a few seconds and stop, and you'll think you've got a big problem, but it's actually a small problem. You just need to find your tip over sensor and put it up the right way. Okay, so that's my hopefully helpful tip for the day. Ciao for now.